Hello, I am back. This is Mr. Cozy with our second read aloud. This read aloud is called What Makes an Insect an Insect? So before we even get started, I want you to just take a guess. Which insect do I have here on the screen? And I also want you to look at a couple things about the insect. I want you to know how many legs it has, where its eyes are, where its knees are, and maybe those little hairy things on its leg. Just take some guesses to yourself about what those might be. And what are these things right here? These long things. Do you know what they're called? Let your parents know if you know what they're called. I'm gonna get started. Hello, boys and girls. The last time you gathered to learn about insects, you were joined by a fly, an insect with whom you are surely familiar. I am also a very common insect that loves to live in bathtubs or underneath kitchen sinks. My cousins and I hide during the day, so you may not notice us. Does anyone know what type of insect I am? I am a cockroach. Do you think I look anything like a fly? There are millions of insects on Earth. At first glance, we may look very different from one another. What are some of those differences? And then what are some ways that we might look the same? Some insects, like butterflies and grasshoppers, have wings, where other insects like fleas and microscopic lice don't. Some eat plants, others eat animals, but all insects have certain features in common. I'm here to talk about what makes an insect an insect. Our name should give you a clue. An insect's body is built in sections or parts, 3 of them to be exact. We'll use one of my friends, the ant, as an example. All insects have a head, just like you, a thorax, and an abdomen. If you know what an abdomen is, go ahead and point to it on your own body. The head is the center of an insect's senses, but different kinds of insects can have very different looking heads. The thorax is the middle part of the insect's body. The abdomen is the end of the insect's body, furthest away from its head. So again, we have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. What do you notice about the heads of all these common insects? Do they look anything like yours? Do they have eyes? Yes. They do, but they are very different from your eyes, aren't they? For one thing, many insects have more than 2 eyes. Most insects, like this cricket, have big eyes located on the side of the head. Many insects also have smaller, simple eyes on the top of their heads. Look closely at this cricket's head. You can pause if you want. Can you see its eyes? Although some insects see better than others, most insects also use other senses to get information about their environments. Look at this bush cricket. Does it have a mouth? Yes. Its mouth is a small hole at the front of its head. Maybe if I can scroll down a little bit, you can see more of it. There you go. Its mouth is a small hole at the end of its head, surrounded by mouth parts. You and the cricket both use your mouths to eat and to taste food. Now, look at the variety of insect mouths on this picture. Some look like sponges. Others look like scissors or needles. An insect's mouth is carefully designed for eating certain types of food. For instance, your mouth is designed to eat certain types of food. Do you think you would personally be able to eat a rock? Nope, your teeth wouldn't be able to handle it. So you're not designed to eat foods that are really, really hard, at least anymore. Some insects bite and chew solid foods. Others drink liquids. Still, others pierce their foods. And we'll talk about what that means here soon. For example, cockroaches like me eat just about anything we can find. We have 2 pairs of jaws for biting, cutting, and chewing food well. Other insects, like the tiny aphids that destroy farmers' crops, have mouthparts that look more like drinking straws. They feed by sucking the sap from plant leaves and stems through these tubes. Look how long and sharp this mosquito, right here. Think about how long and sharp this mosquito mouthpart is. It's perfect for piercing the skin of its prey and sucking out its blood. Have you ever been bitten by a mosquito? I certainly have myself, and it is not fun. They love to feed on people, as well as other animals like horses and birds. Butterflies and bees have long mouthparts for getting nectar from flowers. So now you've seen insects' eyes and mouths. What else do you see on the head of insects? Yes, those long feelers. Those are the insect's antennae. They're most important sense organs. Insect antennae come in variety shapes and sizes and help insects learn more about their environments. These feelers, such as those on this cricket, are often covered with bristles or pegs, and some even quite feathery. Antennae are primarily used for smell and touch, although some can pick up sounds or detect movements in the air. Do you see the nose on this cricket? No, at least nothing like your nose. Instead of a nose, this cricket uses an antennae to smell. Eyes, mouth, antennae. What else might you expect to find on an insect's head? What other organs do you have on the side of your head? That's right, ears. Do you see any ears in this cricket? Nope. The cricket's ears are located on its legs, attached to the middle section of the cricket's body. I'm going to read that one more time. The cricket's ears are located on its legs, attached to the middle section of the cricket's body. You can pause right now if you want to look for yourself, but I'm going to move on. The middle section of an insect's body is called the thorax. The thorax has 3 pairs of jointed legs and usually, but not always, 2 pairs of wings. Notice I said pair. A pair is 2 of something. If there are 3 pairs of legs, how many legs does an insect have altogether? I want you to think about that real quick. If a pair means 2, and I have 3 pairs of something, I want you to count by 2s and figure that one out. If you got 6, you are absolutely right. Take a look at this cricket's thorax and see if you can spot its ears. Look just below its knee on the front leg. Do you see a smooth patch of skin? That is the cricket's eardrum, which is very important for it as it communicates with other crickets through sound. The cricket's eardrum bends in and out to catch the sound waves so it can communicate with other crickets. Insect legs vary according to an insect's lifestyle. How do you think the long, muscular back legs of a grasshopper might help it? That's right. It's designed, or their legs are designed for jumping quickly to escape danger. Have you ever seen the fuzzy legs of a honeybee, covered with yellow clumps of pollen that carry it back to its hive? And how do you think the backswimmer beetle pair of long legs help it in its water habitat? I want you to think about that for a quick second. Caterpillars have 3 pairs of true legs on the front part of their bodies, but their long bodies need extra support, so they also have several pairs of stubby legs and back to help them cling to stems and leaves. These false legs are called prolegs, so they're not really legs, they're just called prolegs. Caterpillars loop along, grasping stems with their front legs or true legs before drawing their bodies up into a loop to hold on with their hind legs or prolegs. Let me switch the picture for you guys. Only adult insects have wings, and some insects don't have any wings at all. If an insect does have wings, they are located on the insect's middle section or the thorax. Wings allow the insect to move quickly from place to place, and there are usually one reason insects have survived in such large numbers for so many years. Insect wings may look very different from one another, but a network of veins support each wing. When it's quiet at night, especially in the summertime, you may hear an interesting chirping noise coming from the insects outside. That sound may be a cricket. Cricket wings have veins. The veins of a male cricket wing are thicker and shaped differently from many other insects. You'll learn more another day about that. So far, we've looked at an insect's head, its thorax. Every insect body is made up of 3 sections. Can you remember the name of the third? The third and largest section is called the abdomen. Do you have an abdomen? Yes, you do. Your abdomen is your belly. Like an insect, your abdomen is where you digest your food or break it down so your body can use it to grow and stay healthy. An insect's abdomen is also the part of the body where the female produces eggs. If you hear a noise in the background, that's my dog drinking some water. She's putting the water into her abdomen. The abdomen is also where insects breathe. Like you, insects need oxygen from air to live, but they do not have lungs, and they do not take in air through their noses or mouths. Instead, if you look closely at this cricket's abdomen, you will see a line of tiny holes on its side. That is where the insect takes in air to breathe. So, what makes an insect an insect? Well, it has 3 main body parts, a head, thorax, and abdomen. It has 6 legs, and most insects have wings, though not all of them. All insects have no backbones. You have a backbone called a spine. Insects don't have that. Instead of having skeletons inside their bodies like you do, insects wear skeletons on the outside. And they're called exoskeletons. They're waterproof and made of tough, flexible material called chitin. Say chitin. Chitin. Say chitin. They protect the insect's soft insides like a suit of armor, just like your backbone and bones. An insect's exoskeleton is a thing that keeps the insect's muscles attached to it. Here's a picture of one of my cousins. We cockroaches were around long before dinosaurs. I think our thick exoskeletons may have had something to do with our long survival, don't you? And that is it. And here's my dog bugging me like usual. That's it for the day's read aloud. Please check Class DOJO for the questions. This time, I'm going to post the questions directly to DOJO as opposed to putting them on a separate document. So you'll have them right on DOJO this time. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me, Miss Benson, or Miss Madison, and we will help you as soon as we can. Thank you. Bye-bye.